Domain Apparel.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Here bring you all another video. This time I actually shaved up, so of course, I got my gray showing, graying it out. But anywho, this video today is still a part of my process when it comes to Turo. But now today I'm talking about my likes and my dislikes. Start with the likes. I like the fact that with Turo, you already have a system that's set up to handle your rentals. You don't necessarily have to worry about, insurance. Uh, you know, Pretty much verification is done through Turo. So the only thing you necessarily have to do is just check for an ID and make sure the ID matches with the identity that Turo sent you. Uh, Referencing the person that's renting the car. That's a like. What I don't like, Turo wants you to take 1,000,000 pictures. And as many pictures as you take, sometimes Turo will not even count the pictures as evidence if you have a case against a guest. So there were there was a time where I had a guest, and the craziest thing was this guest rented my car, more than once. They returned the car, not filling up the tank. Okay, fine, trying to be a, gracious host and, being polite. I always want people to come back to me to, rent a car. So she said, okay, charge me. All right, great. All right, I will go ahead and send over the invoice to you. Sent over the invoice along with the pictures that Turo, the 1,000,001 pictures that Turo wants you to take. Turo had access to those pictures. So let me clarify. You take pictures when you give out the car. You take pictures when you take back the car. All right. The pictures that I took showed when I gave the car, the tank was full. When the guests brought back the car, the tank was only half full. Easily documented in the pictures. Now, I was just a little nonchalant with the whole situation. I just assumed that the guest would pretty much stay true to their word and pay for the missing gas. So, sent over the invoice. A couple days passed. Nothing. Then it got escalated over to Turo. After a couple of days, Turo automatically escalate the issue. So got escalated over to Turo. Turo saw that, the pictures, of course. The pictures showed that when they got the car, it was full. When they brought it back, it wasn't. But they declined my invoice. So that means that the customer or the guest was able to return the car and not pay for the missing gas. Now, in doing so, they gave me some explanation saying that they need a receipt. But they also send me a link for some of the guidelines when you are pretty much, disputing an issue. So with the guidelines, it states, and I'm going to see if I can find these guidelines and put them up on this video. But in the guideline, it states that you need a picture or a receipt. Turo only tells you that you are Turo only tells you that you need to turn in the receipt. They don't look at the pictures, according to the people who are making the final decision based off your evidence that you provided for the dispute. So I sent over this information to Turo. It's like, well, it doesn't say that in your guidelines. It says picture or receipt. They didn't care about that. Even though it's in writing, they did not care. I lost the money for the gas. Honestly, it was no point for me to even rent the car to these individuals because the cost of the rental was the cost of the gas. So they pretty much got the car, like they pretty much rented the car for free. So these are some of the things that I don't like when it comes to Turo. Turo, you know, it's like a lack of common sense. And even though you see pictures and you can see that the client returned the car and you can see the difference from the pictures, I don't get any type of reimbursement, even though it's obvious that the client returned the car without the gas. So something that I don't like when it comes to Turo. And they don't abide by their own rules. All right. So it's just um, whatever rule they feel like they need to follow at that time that benefits them. What I like about Turo, I like the fact that they do address an issue, and they do. They address issues pretty quickly. Necessarily you don't always have to call. You can always send an email or you can do a chat via their website or via the app. And it does make things a lot easier when you need an answer to a particular question. Especially if you're starting out with Turo, you're going to have a lot of questions. So it's good to have like that instant access to them. What I don't like about Turo is I stay in Lancaster, California. I'm about 70 miles from downtown LA, 70, 80, maybe a little bit more than that. But I'm constantly getting customers, which for me is a great thing. But for these customers, I do feel for them because, if they're from out of town, they don't know how far Lancaster is from LA. So they get these rental cars because they were pretty much told by Turo, okay, we have something for you available, and you may need a little, and then they asking for help. So this is what we can help you out with. We have this car available. Not telling the client that the car is about 70, 80 miles away from where they currently, um, you know, where they currently are. So, I get a lot of complaints when it comes to that. And unfortunately, I feel bad, but it's not like I don't have any control over that. So, something that's what Toro can do, Turo could do a little bit better when it comes to their guests and how they can accurately find a car that's within a reasonable distance and somewhere where they don't have to pay $1,000,001 to go and get the car because by the time they come and find my car, they don't pay the amount of the rental to Uber or to a Lyft. Now that I've been doing Turo for a couple months now, do I regret it? To a point. Um, Turo is not what I expected. And honestly, they take out so many fees. Oh, that's what I don't like. They take out so many fees. They find ways to screw over their host. Yeah, I regret doing Turo. Turo was not for me at all. Now, will I continue to do Turo? Yeah. Not with two cars, probably just with one. Just be careful with Turo. Um, Make sure you truly understand the guidelines. Make sure you understand their policies and you do your due diligence and truly understand what you're getting into. Um, I did a little bit of research before I got into it, but no matter how much research you do, it's always going to be some type of situation that you have to, come across and, learn trial and error. And that's pretty much what it is when it comes to Turo. For some people, it may be like the best thing in the world. For me, it wasn't because I feel like Turo could do a lot better to support their hosts. And I mean, we pretty much making money for them because Turo they take a lot. They really do. And it's not like they taking it because they providing like all these extra privileges or we gain some benefits from them taking all this money by getting extra bonuses or I mean like honestly we don't see any of that with Turo. Turo is just they for them. They want their money, and they don't care if you host with them or you don't. At the end of the day, they just care about money. So, with that being said, this taking it to Turo, you know, understanding that it may not be for you, and it may be for you. Something else I don't like about Turo is the fact that I want to do, especially now it's the holidays, I want to do like a long term rental because I don't want to be renting out my car for like a day or two, especially during the holidays. I wanted, I want the option of renting out my car for, maybe 2 weeks, but the maximum allotted time for Turo would be 5 days. And yeah, you could easily find someone who wants to rent your car for 5 days. But unfortunately, I have to constantly decline these individuals because I'm looking for someone to rent my car for a week and a half to 2 weeks. There are some things that Turo need to do in their app to, adjust for that as well because, especially during the holidays, you don't want to be worried about, oh, I need to go and clean my car. I need to go and wash my car. Oh, I got a guest coming in the next hour or so. So let me go fill up my tank. These things, especially if it happens frequently, could be a little overwhelming, especially during the holidays. So I definitely have way more dislikes than I do likes for Turo. I don't know. Hopefully this video helps. It's my own personal vlog. Now, the funniest thing that I know I had to deal with, a lot of my guests will smoke marijuana in the car. Don't have an issue with people smoking marijuana. I just have an issue with it coming, the smell just knocking me out once I open the door. And at least when you return the car, let it air out some. I should not have to come and get in my car and catch a contact high myself just because you smoked the blunt and now we all high. I mean, I should be thanking you, but no, I wasn't trying to get high. So, yeah, that's some of the things you experience when you rent out your car through Turo. It's definitely an experience, and you come across some very interesting people, some very cool people too. I can honestly admit that, I've met people from Toronto, from Washington, D.C., turned out to be really great people, very down to earth. And then, of course, people in your own neighborhood or just in your own region. So you come across a plethora of individuals who wants to rent your car. So you just got to be open. And with Turo, they do allow you the option to rent your car instantly, especially if you have a particular location that you want to rent your car. So you can set it to rent your car instantly. So whereas the person who wants to rent your car does not need approval. Now, me personally, especially now that I want to rent out my car for more than, a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, I put it to whereas individuals need to get my permission or I need to accept the rental before they can pick up the car. Now, I do it that way because then I can screen the individuals who are renting my car as well. I can screen the time frame because if you do it for like an instant, for them to get the car and rent the car instantly, is they can rent it for a day. It could be Billy Bob and Joe from down the street who been crashing cars left and right. I mean, you just never know. So, just be really careful when it comes to that. Like, do you want someone to rent your car and have the ability to do it instantly to whereas they already went through the process, they already meeting you at the place to get the car, you just need to have it ready, hand them the key so they could go? Or do you want to screen it? Make sure that, the person that's taking your car is pretty much a responsible person who is really going to take care of the car and treat your car in the best way possible. So you also have those options on Turo. So one of the things that I like about vlogging and not really doing anything else that I tried or attempted in the past is I could just sit down and just talk to you. You know, even if I just want to take a drink, I could do that. I do like margarita drinks, and you know, I'm more of the person who likes sweet drinks. But this one gets you a little buzz. I don't know, can you tell in my eyes? But anywho, of course, you already know I have definitely a lot of dislikes when it comes to Turo. And again, in conclusion, I would not take this path. I felt, you know, everything is trial and error, especially when you start in a business, and certain things may not work out for you, and it's okay. Because that's the whole thing. Like, you want to have a business that's going to work for you, that's not necessarily just going to feel like a job or feel like, oh man, like this is pressure. Or you want to have a business that is going to keep you enthused. And you know, in my other business, me making patches, I love doing that. Like, to me, I get to use my graphic design skills, you know, make designs based off of my love, anime, um, amongst other things. And you know, it's just, for me, it's fun. Doing Turo for me was not fun per se. With with the car that I do want to get rid of, you know, it was a note. First mistake. Even if I trade it in, I won't get the same amount that I bought it for, of course, because you know trade-ins actually do way less than what your purchase amount is. I haven't had the car for very long, so I'm gonna have to try try to find the best route. Because I want to get a Tesla. Not, you know, that's my thing. I want an electric car, and I want it for my own personal car. So I need to figure out what can I do to trade in this car or sell this car so I can get the money to get my Tesla. So that's the plan. You know, I'm gonna let y'all know now. This video gonna be all over the place. You get to hear my experience. Now with editing, you know, the video may not be as long, but this was a long video. I've been talking for a while. All right, so I just wanted to let you all know that. How would I rate their customer service when it comes to their host? Between one to 10, I give them a 6. You know, they're there to answer questions, but when issues arise, is it seems like there's a lack of common sense, and it seems like the policies are there to hurt the host. It's not there to benefit the host. All right, so that's one of the things that you need to think of. Think of the, you know, do you want your car to be rented instantly, or do you want to screen who rents your car? Something else to think of. Also, you know, are you okay with the time that you need to devote to Turo? Do you want to do rentals that are one day? Do you want to do rentals that a person can rent your car for less than 3 days or less than 5 days? Those are things to consider. Uh, so many things that I would have thought, I wish I would have thought of before I actually gone into the business. But of course, hindsight is 2020. And right now, the only thing I could do is just rectify what I can now, and then deal with the issues or deal with the loss or minimize the loss. I say it that way, minimize my losses. Well, anywho, you all, thank you for listening to me. I hope you all get some insight from this video. Do you want to be a Turo host? If not, you know, you doing it based off of what you heard me say or what you researched. But again, make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you really understand what you're getting into. Make sure that you don't waste money by financing a car, even though it could be a good idea if it's something that you're looking into doing long term. But you know, it's probably better to find a good used car than getting in a new car. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, share, post, all that good stuff. And I'll holler at you all in my next video. All right, y'all. Peace.
Image, domain, apparel.